Everybody. Today we're going to be looking at adding and subtracting fractions with unlike denominators. So we've already got our first adding problem, already set up two very different denominators. Our goal is to change that. Find a common denominator so that we can add them. Remember, we can't add or subtract or compare or do anything with fractions if they do not look alike. So our first goal is to make them look alike. The way we do that, step one is we concentrate on our denominators. We're going to find multiples of both denominators. Multiples of 4, like 4, 8, 12, 16. Multiples of 3, like 3, 6, 9, 12. I'm going to go ahead and stop right here because I do see one set of multiples that they have in common, 12. Now, if I were to keep going and I make this list even longer and I make this list even longer, I'm going to find a lot of multiples that 3 and 4 have in common. However, I want that first one. I want the smallest number that they have in common. Okay? So, the fact that I circled the 12 means I no longer want the 4 as a denominator. I want 12 as my denominator. I no longer want the 3 as my denominator. I want 12 as my denominator because it's common. It's a number they both share. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my 1, 4, which we both know that I don't want the 4 to be there. I want the 12 to be there. And how do I get from 4 to 12? Times 3. And don't forget to do the same thing at the top. Times 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So I've changed one of my fractions. 1/4 is now 3/12. 1/4 and 3/12 are also equivalent. They look different, but they have the same value. Okay? My next fraction, which is 2/3. Right now there's 3 in the bottom. I don't want the 3 to be the denominator. I'd like for my denominator to be 12. How do you get from 3 to 12? Times 4. And don't forget, do the same thing to the numerator. 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, now I know that you all learned a couple of different ways. You can keep your numbers, your two fractions stacked on top of each other like that. Or you can just write them side by side. 3, 12 plus 8, 12. Remember, just add your numerators. 8 plus 3 is 11. The denominator never changes. So we just worked our first addition problem. In just a second, we're also going to do a subtraction problem using the same method, finding common multiples, renaming our fractions, and then subtracting. So I'm going to go ahead and erase this. Now here's our subtraction problem. 3/4 minus 2/3. Okay, once again, I've got two different denominators. We can't do anything with those fractions until we find a common denominator. So using those same numbers, find multiples. 4, 8, 12. Find multiples. 3, 6, 9, 12. They've got 12 in common, which means I'm going to need to change that 4 to a 12. I'm also going to need to change that 3 to a 12. 3/4 is what my fraction used to be. I needed to have a 12 in the denominator, because remember, that is the number that we chose as the least common multiple. 4 times 3 equals 12. What I do to the denominator, I have to also do to the numerator. Times 3, 9/12. Now I'm going to take my 2/3 and I have to change it as well. 2/3. I would rather have a 12 in the denominator. How do I get from 3 to 12? It's times 4. Do the same thing to the numerator, times 4. And I've got 8. Remember, we're subtracting. You can leave your fractions stacked on top of each other like that if it's easier to add and subtract, or you can put them side by side. 9, 12 minus 8. 12. 9 minus 8 is 1. The denominator never changes. 12. So there you have it. We've added and we've subtracted using least common multiple, renaming our fractions, and then adding and subtracting. Okay? Thanks for watching.